Okay, hello everybody. This is going to be the second review of today. And to, or no, I guess this is going to be the second review I'm recording today, but it's going to be obviously on different days. So, I don't know why this isn't working all of a sudden. That's really weird. Just bear with me for a moment because I thought this would just type out fine, but for some reason it doesn't want to, so I'm just going to disconnect from that. And today we are going to be reviewing Nicolas Cage's newest movie called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Um, so this is kind of a unique movie in a way, because Nicolas Cage is supposed to be playing himself in the movie, and I don't know. There are very certain parts of this movie where I don't know how anybody on set kept a straight face because it was just such a crazy movie. So in this movie, we have Nicolas Cage obviously playing Nick Cage, and Nicky, which was like I guess his alter ego. I know, I believe that's from one of his other movies, if I'm thinking correctly. Anyway, we had Pedro Pascal as Javi Gutierrez, Tiffany Haddish as Vivian, Sharon Horgan was his wife Olivia. Paco Leon played Lucas Gutierrez. Neil Patrick Harris played Richard Fink, I believe, who was Nicolas Cage's agent. Lily Mosheen played Addie Cage, who was obviously his daughter. And I think that's pretty much it as far as. Oh, and Ike Barinholtz played Martin. So Nicolas Cage is basically trying to find that ultimate role that he can take on because I guess it's kind of been over the past few years. He's kind of poking fun at himself for taking so many roles, but I mean, hey, I would say over the last couple of years, as if you're a Nicolas Cage fan, the movies that he's been doing over the last couple of years, even though they might be lower budget, are just, I don't know, they've just been like top of the line. Like it just seems like Nicolas Cage is fitting into or finally doing the roles that he was just meant to do. I don't know. As a fan, maybe he doesn't feel that way as a actor. Maybe he would like to be still doing bigger blockbusters that hit theaters, but I don't know. Uh, like I've reviewed some of his movies. I don't even know if the reviews are out yet, but I know I've watched Pig, and I have to go back and rewatch Prisoners of the Ghostland because that was a good movie, but it was hard to kind of interpret everything that was going on. So I think it deserves a second watch before I actually sit down and do a review of it. Um, but yeah, it was unique in that way. And once he, I guess his agent finally gets him this gig with this uh, Javi Javi Gutierrez. So he flies him out and he takes the boat to Javi's place, only to be captured or kind of like kidnapped in a sense by these, I believe, were they FBI agents? They must have been. They must have been FBI agents because they planted the bug on him when he landed at the airport because they weren't sure why he was there to go meet Javi. It wasn't making a whole lot of sense. I guess it wasn't supposed to be Nicolas Cage that was getting off the plane, and they're having this huge argument about don't plant the bug on him. Do you know who that actually is? And so on and so forth. So throughout the movie, Javi and Nicolas Cage bond, and Javi wants Nicolas Cage to see his screenplay that he's written, and he believes it'll be the right role for Nicolas to play. Uh, but once he gets there, Nicholas says that he's retired. Eventually, Javi kind of works him into the role, and he says that he'll do it. Even though throughout the movie, his alter ego, Nicky, keeps telling him that not to take certain roles, and you gotta go for the big one, take your take your big shot or whatever, and don't take don't uh, don't take roles that are less than what you're worth. I guess is kind of his message. But and then one of the lines is and then we're back. Then we're back for good, but not that we went anywhere. That was one of the most famous lines in the movie, and Nicky going absolutely like crazy in Nick's mind and just going, "You're Nick, motherfucking Cage or motherfucking woo Cage," like stuff like that. It was just there was obviously comedic elements to this movie, but also it kind of showed not there were comedic elements, but near the beginning, before I get really into what happens between him and Javi, near the beginning, obviously he's trying to do the best with his daughter, um, but it just is kind of failing because he's so focused on what he wants and not what she wants. And they've been in therapy sessions together from the looks of it, and he just keeps talking about him and really paying no attention to her at all. So, yeah, kind of interesting there. He ends up spoiling his daughter's birthday party because he doesn't really understand that she's supposed to be the center of attention. So he thinks he's doing this cool thing by singing her this song, and he's still upset that he didn't get the role, I guess, that he wanted from the beginning of the movie. So he's all depressed and sad and drunk at the party, and then his ex-wife tells him that he's got to get his shit together and really work on bonding with his daughter again and starting to pay attention to things she wants more than what he wants, right? So I think Javi kind of helps him a little bit along the way, even though Nick is supposed to be spying on Javi, right? He ends up becoming better friends with him. And then we find out that Javi isn't even really the one behind it. It's his cousin the entire time. Um, Lucas Gutierrez is the real mastermind behind this kidnapped girl from the very beginning of the movie, who is the target they are trying to find um, with the help of Nick, obviously, on the inside, because if they just walked in, that clearly wouldn't work. So I believe, was it Gabriella that was the kidnapped girl? It must have been. Yeah, I guess it was. I guess it was Gabriella. She just looks really different with long hair because she had shorter hair in this movie. So eventually Javi flies out Nick's family because he thinks there's some, I guess maybe they can work out their problems there, he's thinking. And as the movie's going, as Javi and Nick are kind of writing their story, the events that they're talking about are literally happening to them throughout the movie. So it was like this is why I'm saying this movie is unique, because as they're talking about writing this movie, that's what's happening in the movie to them. So yeah, as they're talking about writing the film, the events are taking place in their real lives. So that's what ends up being the movie that is written at the end of the movie. I know it's like a I don't know, it's kind of a weird concept. Like it's a movie within the movie, and throughout the movie, Nicolas Cage is watching some of his older acting, I guess, kind of reliving his glory days. And then when he tells his agent that he's done acting, you can kind of see him break down a little bit in the hallway of the hotel, which apparently he's been living in for, I don't know, 2-something years. So it seems that this movie is kind of uh, really trying to break down uh, how tough it can be as an actor from time to time, and obviously, yeah, sometimes you just don't get gigs, and sometimes life is tough, and you have to bounce back. But I don't think Nick Cage is probably actually really hurting for money. I don't. Maybe he is, and if he is, this was probably a really good film to come out and do, because I think this will really be his actual bounce back film as far as that goes, because this one is going to theaters. So I'm not really sure what other movies went to theaters of his. Did Willy's Wonderland go to theaters? I can't remember. I don't think. I know Prisoners of Ghostland went to theaters, but I didn't get to see it because of everything that was going on last year, obviously, right? So, uh, but yeah, at the very end of the movie, he does kind of reconnect with his ex-wife and obviously his daughter by asking her what she wants rather than like what kind of movie or film or TV show she would like to watch rather than what he wants. And it was funny because Javi was talking about his favorite three movies, and one of them was Nicolas Cage's movie. The other one was a German film that Nicolas Cage really liked, and the third was Paddington 2. So they sat there together one night and watched it in Javi's house, and they both cried because Javi said after he watched it, it made him want to be a better man. I've never seen Paddington or Paddington 2, so I can't really say what those films are actually about. I believe it's about like a stuffed bear or something. I'm not really sure. But anyhow, yeah, definitely lots of. There was action in this movie. There was comedy. There was drama, sadness. It had everything, and altogether, it was just really well put together film. And if you're a Nicolas Cage fan, you are going to enjoy this movie. I did give it a 9 out of 10. I believe it was deserving of that. So yeah, I honestly would go see this again in theaters just because yeah, I'm a huge Nicolas Cage fan, and the film just kind of grabbed my attention as to acting as yourself in the film while trying to write your own film and those events happening to you during the writing of that film. It was just absolutely crazy. Yeah, and there are other parts that I won't talk about because I don't think I should. Well, I mean, hopefully by the time this review comes out in May, everybody has seen this movie anyway. So, but we will see. As most of you know anyway by now, who have been viewing my videos for a long time, I like to talk about what goes on in the movie as well as my thoughts as best as I can. So, yeah, but 9 out of 10 for this movie, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.